to Gutter Trash Spooktacular episode 2013, part 2. That was a mouthful, and I'm going to keep talking. Curse of the Devil. My name is Eric.
Hi, I'm Jason.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Oh.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Week 2.
Yeah. How's it going? How's your Halloween going so far?
It's good. I like the month of Halloween. So we're doing all kinds of Halloween episodes. It's awesome.
Yeah, we've explained this already.
Yeah. Well, most people don't listen to more than one episode.
Nor should they.
So, yeah. This is part 2.
Part 2. I'm seeing Halloween decorations come up now, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Because it's the proper month to do it.
I saw Christmas decorations the other day.
I've seen. Yeah.
I know, right?
All right. Hey, we have guests.
Yeah, we do.
Returning. Third year in a row? Fourth year?
Fourth, I think.
Wow.
I think he was our first guest ever.
He was. No?
I'm pretty sure he was.
No, Pat was, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuck, I can't remember.
Who knows?
I remember we watched The Wrestler. That may have been the first one, though.
I think so.
Are we sure we didn't have Pat on?
Nobody.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying that I think it's a shame that this was our first guest ever, and that he has appeared so many times on this show, and even guest hosted an episode.
Oh, yeah.
We need a bigger circle of friends, I think, is what we're getting at. The Halloween maven himself, Matt Brasfield's here.
That's right. And I've been conned into being on this show 4 years ago.
All right. We love every minute that you're here.
But thank you. I enjoy being here.
I think it's too bad you're not here all the time.
I know.
Oh, it's a crime. But not just that.
No, we have a first, well, almost a first for us. Because we did do the 200th episode where we had like 39 people in the room with us. But that was a different kind of thing. We weren't talking about one specific topic. But here, for the first time, speaking about one specific movie.
Yeah, because we're just going to talk about that movie.
Oh, sure.
Because we're really good at just keeping on track.
It's the illusion.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Don't break the illusion. We have with us a second guest. A second-time guest as well. He appeared on the 200th episode. Stephen Alexander is here.
Hello, friends.
Hi, buddy.
Hello.
I can't wait to talk about Paul Nash and just what we just saw.
Paul Nash
It's a freaking
I know,
amazing.
For some reason, it was like torture when we told that we were like, oh yeah, by the way, Stephen, we don't really talk about the movie during the movie or right after the movie. We wait until the show, and he's like, meh, meh.
I really just want to get out how many times Paul Nash made love to women in that movie.
There was 3.
There was 3. There was several almost fourths. And I think there would have been if it would have been a little.
If he would have been here with us, yeah. There would have been a 4th.
There would have been 4 ladies to choose from.
We've all printed ourselves up for Mr. Nash.
I will say, you two are the most fidgety people that I've ever been in my house.
My back was hurting. I couldn't help it.
I couldn't help because of how great the movie was. I just had to fidget.
Oh, it's a spoiler. He loves it.
There was a lot of shocking things going on. I had to
Did you hide your eyes?
Several times.
Were you scared?
When he crushed that dude's head with the rock? Oh my god, that was brutal.
Spoiler! Yeah.
Oh, we're not talking about the movie?
I'm just kidding.
Or how about every time they show him, he'd always grin? Like, did anyone else notice that? They'd show the werewolf and he'd be like, eh.
Yeah,
every time.
He was a happy werewolf.
Yeah, like, look at my fangs.
They spent upwards of $10 on those teeth. They needed to show them off.
I don't know. I feel like that was one of the better 70s werewolves I've seen.
It was a good looking werewolf.
Yeah.
It's an okay werewolf.
Yeah, the design on it, I thought.
For
was
the
good.
time.
Period. You know, I mean, it's just a slightly slicked up version of the Lon Chaney Wolfman.
Yeah.
The transformation could have used some work.
Yeah.
But
In some scenes, there was a couple of them that I think that it worked, and then other ones just seemed rush. Like some of the transformations
Like they only
looked
did
good.
3 transitions.
Yeah, and then they just were like, hurry it up. You know what I mean?
I like,
Okay, he's a
I like it
werewolf.
when he transitions, like kind of in the shadows, and his hand just reaches up on the table.
Right.
But like whenever he's like chasing the girl, and he sees the moon, and he's all fidgety, and all of a sudden he's standing perfectly still,
Right.
and he's perfectly still for the entire transformation, and it's back to being all jittery again. It's like,
Well, you forgot too. He rips his shirt open. He's about to transform.
Well, Paul Natchi,
Terrible
former
shit.
bodybuilder, has to show what he's got. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was slightly better than the Lon Chaney, transformations in which he would, perfectly sit still in a chair,
right.
and then do the transformation.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it was about the same. I mean, he just stood there straight faced.
Yeah, but at least
had his eyes
beforehand
closed.
he was running.
I know. It just looked like he paused for a driver's license photo, and like he's against this background, and then like he changes, and then like he takes off. But don't get me wrong, I liked it.
I liked it too. I thought it was good.
I like Paul Natchi, so.
I enjoyed it thoroughly, honestly.
Guess who's in the minority?
See, I always feel that like Paul Natchi, especially the early Paul Natchi films, always seem like a mix between drama, Hammer horror films, and Universal monster films. It's like they just took all that and stuck it into a pot and stirred it up, and that's what you got.
And like maybe like 2 parts Hammer, because it really.
It did have a little hammer.
Oh yeah,
It's
the costumes and the
costumes
large-chested women and.
Can we talk about the gore for a second?
All right, the melted crayon blood.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Or like thick paint. Orange paint, thick orange paint at some parts.
There were some parts where it actually looked really good. Like
on the
it
ladies' necks. and
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like because it was like chunky, so it looked like there was like chunks.
But sometimes
in
he
there.
would he would maul somebody, and then it looked like they just piled a bunch of stuff on, like extra stuff on someone.
There's a
one of the
bunch of
last
extra
victims.
latex. Just that guy that got the face?
Yeah,
The
he got
face?
his face, or like I don't know what actually happened to him, but like he's face down, and then he turns, and he's got like basically plastic on his face.
Right.
Red plastic.
Yeah. Which I think as a kid I wouldn't have even realized that how fake that looked. I would have been like, "It's awesome! He's bleeding all over."
Oh
the
yeah,
Right.
True.
yeah, and I think for the time it worked. I mean, if you even look at again, going back to Hammer films, the Hammer blood looks always very similar to what that did. It's always either like the really painty or like you said, even melted crayon. It has
Still
that
looks
look.
better than Dawn of the Dead blood, which was like hot pink.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
it was really pinkish.
From former guest Tom Savini.
Yeah, he's
former Gutter Trash alumni,
Yeah.
Tom Savini.
He's been on the show? That's pretty impressive.
yeah.
He told us a story about how he was the first male roller skating drive-in waiter.
Wow.
Car hop, yeah.
Well,
Well, to be fair, he told Kurt
he took Kurt Dins.
on
Well,
location.
Kurt is the unofficial member of your guys' team.
Yeah, he does our micro interviews.
He's our Anderson Cooper.
That's
He's in
right.
the field.
Yeah. See? So, yeah, he's part of the team.
Oh, yeah.
So Tom Savini, John Carpenter, they've all been guests on our show, just for 20 seconds at a time.
And neither one of them would recognize us if they bumped into us.
Oh, yeah, thanks for doing... Do I know you?
Yeah. Who the hell are you?
Or even Kurt.
Yeah.
Well, at least they might. There's a glimmer of recognition.
Maybe, yeah.
So
Oh,
is
it's like
it a 70s thing to do all full frontal? Like is that a 70s thing? 'Cause
I think
I haven't seen a lot of.
I think it's a Spanish...
Is it a Spanish?
It's a
European horror film kind of thing.
Are
It
you
happened a lot.
complaining?
No, I ain't complaining. I'm just saying that.
Hey, you wanted more.
They
you
just
wanted
kind
more
of like
backsides.
what?
You wanted more backsides. You're like, it's all full frontal. There's no backside.
There's no
True,
asses.
that's true. There was no asses.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Speaking as an ass man.
You noticed that.
Yeah, I could have used some.
I still think the greatest moment when he scores with the chick is definitely the sister who's like, I came here a virgin and I'm not leaving one. And then he's like, go away. And then she just walks in naked and he's like, well, what the hell?
Well, yeah, where a psycho dude just attacked.
Yeah, exactly. And his corpse is still in the room. Like they don't show him.
Well, no,
he
he
doesn't
ran
die.
out the window.
Yeah, he jumped out the window.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then they find his body. That's the one that has the maggots on
Maggots
its
all over his
face. And
I didn't notice he jumped out the window.
Torgo from Manos: The Hands of Fate.
Yeah. That guy.
I missed him jumping out the
Doesn't
window.
look like him.
I must have like grabbed the crab rangoon right at the same
Nah,
time.
you probably fell asleep around that time.
Ah, no, I didn't fall asleep at all.
I did.
I noticed.
Steve noticed. Yeah. But that is one thing. Even when we discussed about doing a Nachi film, they're very slow moving.
I don't mind that at all.
Well, and I think they're atmosphere pieces. Like he always slowly builds the story, and most of them always have the same payout. Paul Nachi as the werewolf gets killed by the beautiful girl who he falls in love with that he just meets in the movie. It's always the same formula, but that's part of the Waldemar Daninsky folklore is that each movie, while they're all Waldemar Daninsky films, each Waldemar Daninsky is not the same. It's like the generation of the bloodline, so it just keeps going down, and each one's a different
Werewolf.
Yeah, I was gonna say
werewolf
about
and
the-
different person, different age, different era, different everything about it is different.
I was gonna say about like the backgrounds and the sets and stuff were awesome.
Oh, yeah.
They fit
Amazing.
so well.
Even the costumes were
That was
great.
All the costumes, yeah.
That's
mean,
probably my favorite part is like how everything looked.
Yeah,
Like everything just looked
amazing.
amazing.
Yep. And that opening scene, even with the knights, I don't know, it just felt
Yeah.
really, I don't know what the right word, even like Renaissance
Felt
fair.
right. It felt right.
But yeah, it felt so right because the location, they're in Spain, and you know what I mean? So it felt like it was like, oh, okay, I could see this,
The night scene felt kind of real too because of how clunky it was.
Oh, yeah.
They're just kind of swinging around and trying to hit each other.
Paul
That's
Nachi.
funny. I love that man. I love him now.
Everyone should love Paul Nachi. The women love Paul Nachi. Every Paul Nachi movie, he just gets it on with girl after girl after girl.
I did read on the back of the DVD case there were 2 sex scenes in this movie that were not originally seen before now.
Really?
Oh, so
Two.
they were in that one? They were in this one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we got to see 2 brand new sex scenes.
Nice.
Of Nachi.
Or uncut, anyway.
Right.
Uncut Nachi sex scenes.
Yeah.
That's all I need in my life. Every day.
Well, if you were directing a movie that you were starring in, you would write in some sex scenes.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
He didn't direct those.
Yeah. And some
But
of
you directed
them,
a lot of them, right? Did it?
the thing about Paul
Might be
Nachi
wrong.
is,
The expert is over that way.
the thing about Paul Nachi is he did write and direct a lot of stuff, but he wouldn't use the name. So it would be a different name because he didn't want his name like all over credits. So he would write it as somebody else.
Did he direct this one?
That I don't know. I don't know on this one if he did. I think he wrote it. I don't think he.
Well, if he wrote it, he wrote it, so there you go.
Well, I did look at the IMDb page, and it did say he wrote it.
Yeah,
But the credited director is Charles Arad or something like that.
yeah. I don't think he did. I think he wrote it, but I don't think he directed this one. I mean, there's been other directors like the movie that you were talking about, by the way, other Paul Nachi movie you've seen was called Tomb of the Werewolf. Because the more I thought about it,
That sounds right.
it's Tomb of the Werewolf,
Okay.
and that was directed by like Fred Olin Ray, who was like B movie schlock master in the United States. Like he directed that movie, which is actually the final Waldemar Daninsky movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that
yeah,
was the last one.
Because I've seen, I was telling you before when I had you pick the movie, I had seen 2 Paul Nashi movies before. I really enjoyed both of them. One of them legitimately, and one of them because I thought it was just kind of fun and dumb and weird. And,
Yeah.
This one I think kind of straddled the lines between those two. Like it wasn't as awesome as the awesome one,
Which
but
was Night of the Werewolf.
but it wasn't as like dumb and weird as like the one that had like dominatrix live-in slave girls and stuff.
And the one that I'm pretty sure it's Tomb of the Werewolf because it had the like camera crew that comes to the castle, correct? And
I don't remember a camera crew, but it's been a long time.
okay. Because I'm thinking it's Tomb of the Werewolf because all the dominatrix stuff and all that is sounding like the Fred Olin Ray version. Which is sad that Paul Nachi, who's this iconic Spanish director of horror films, and then he, the last movie, the last movie that he does is with some B-movie schlock guy who probably put $3,000 in the whole movie, and that's no dig at Fred Olin Ray. I mean, because I understand he's a fan, and you get to work with Paul Nachi and you get to make the final movie, of course, but it just didn't have the same feel.
Right.
So this is a werewolf movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we never did say what it was about.
Oh, we were talking about. Oh, we never told the plot.
Not really.
Oh,
Well, let's let Eric tell the plot.
go, Eric.
It's a werewolf movie.
Come on, get a little better than
Okay,
that.
it's a werewolf movie, and every werewolf movie I've seen is exactly the same, except for Teen Wolf, which is the most superior werewolf movie.
Wow. Wow.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, it's about it starts out with two knights fighting, and one of the knights is the master of a satanic coven of witches, and he gets killed. So the witches then curse his killer's entire bloodline, which eventually goes down to Valdemar Daninsky, who somehow fulfills the prophecy of the curse by killing one of their own, and he becomes a werewolf. There's also some extra hubbub about a guy in a full body stocking who
That
rapes
guy.
some naked women, and
That guy. I
uh,
don't think he
forgot
raped
about
them.
that
They were
guy.
pretty willing.
I forgot about that guy.
yeah,
They were pretty willing. I think that was supposed to be Satan.
Yeah.
They were giving themselves to him.
Yeah,
Actually, that was a choosing process. If you remember.
it was.
Yeah.
They were selecting who was going to get to be the girl to pass on the curse to Valdemar.
And gets to make out with Voldemort.
Right.
Of course, before
Of course.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
make sweet, sweet love to Daninsky.
Because ladies love a guy in a full gray body stocking,
Hell yeah. they do. Hell yeah.
head to toe.
Yeah.
Did anyone else catch one of the big things on those movies, the Nachi movies, is the name of the knight and then his wife, the leader of the satanic cult?
The names are weird, so I didn't.
It's
really
Bathory.
It's Elizabeth Bathory,
Right.
which is throughout all those movies they constantly reference Elizabeth Bathory.
Alright. You can tell me, or you can ask if I caught it, but this is the only Paul Naschy movie I've ever seen, so I wouldn't know that.
And you're going to watch more, aren't you?
No,
What?
I'm good.
Me and Jason, we're going to watch some more Paul Naschy movies.
We're gonna watch the other one because Matt brought two of them. He brought one from the '90s,
Yes,
where Paul Naschy is like in his 60s.
66, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like 25 years or 20-something years after the one we just watched tonight. And you said it's kind of weird, right?
It's the epitome of the best way to describe it. When the first time I seen it, and I was talking to my girlfriend, I said it is the exact thing that you expect when you rented a direct-to-video movie in the early 90s.
Okay.
That's how it felt. I mean, like, the lighting, everything about it, I was like, this is like literally a direct-to-video film in the 90s.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's hysterical. There's one scene, which I don't want to spoil it, especially since we're going to watch it, but there was one scene, like I said, that literally had me almost in tears, and I had to keep rewinding it because it was so ridiculous.
I'm down.
What was the name of that movie
Man.
for our listener?
Lycanthropo?
There you go.
He's on it. He
Yeah.
wants to see it.
I'm down.
I always say it wrong. I always have a hard time saying the name of that one.
I had a train of thought. Man.
Lycanthropo. Lycanthrope.
Yeah.
That's a play on words there. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah. So, what was the deal with the guy in the movie that we just watched? He was kind of like the, I don't know, like soldier-y guy that showed up in the town to like take.
I think
Policeman.
he's a policeman.
He was a
Police.
policeman.
Yeah,
Okay.
He was like the only police cop because he
Yeah.
made the reference that he was the only one, and that's why he was having a hard time finding the serial killer that was also in the loose.
Yeah.
And he was having a hard time finding him because it's basically just him.
That was
Okay.
a clever way to hide the fact that the werewolf was killing people though too.
Oh,
To
yeah.
have
Because there's a
the
serial
killer
killer.
on the loose, so that everybody's thinking
Yeah.
the killer's killing everybody, but it's actually a werewolf.
Well, it was a good way to throw it off, too, from Waldemore's character, where his maid is clearly like a protector and watches over him, knows that he's a
I feel like that
werewolf.
was his mother.
No, it was because he said she basically worked
she's-
for his father.
She
to,
said she
like his mother.
Yeah, she's like, you're like a son to me.
Yeah. So, and that she was protecting him. And yeah, it was a great way because, she's telling him, oh no, you're just, you got attacked by the killer and blah, blah, blah. And, this girl died. Yeah, you were there, but he knocked you out when it was in fact the werewolf that killed the girl.
It's like she's in denial.
Yeah. Right. Well, and definitely in the overprotective, like the creepy, like, my loved one can never do any wrong kind of thing.
I don't know that she was so much in denial as it was she was
trying to protect him, kind of.
Trying to protect him a little bit, and yeah.
You got nothing?
It's too late. I have done another podcast already today. I'm out.
I like how...
Just go to sleep.
I like how...
We'll finish this up.
What's his name? Vladimir? Or
Voldemort?
I like how
Voldemort.
I like how he's got this little, love shack in the middle of the woods. that he does. He used to, play Cowboys and Indians or whatever when he was a kid there. I guess it was before
Cowboys and Indians in Italy.
But, yeah, I mean, he was a thinker. He was a free thinker. No, but he used to play there when he was a kid, I guess, but now he plays there. It's his playhouse now. He brings all the girls there.
Well, and it's great because we should also note that the first girl he gets it on with in the movie is this girl that who's the witch, and it makes it look like she's been raped by a bunch of guys. And then, the next scene is, her laying in bed with him. Yeah. He don't give a shit. He's Waldemar Daninsky.
I feel like there was a time lapse there we missed.
Well, yeah.
I think it was supposed to be a little later.
I don't think so.
A couple hours later.
He's a smooth operator, but he's not.
Waldemar just he knows what he wants.
He is not a monster yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Waldemar just is a man who knows what he wants.
He's like, baby, you've been raped? Come on up to my room. I'll make sweet love to you.
Yeah.
You'll forget all about it.
There's a difference between rape, that's hate, and Waldemar Daninsky love.
It's a little bit like an alcoholic with a little bit of hair of the dog.
Oh man. Wow, you went there.
Well, hair of the wolf, you mean the wolf.
Hair of the wolf. Oh.
Yeah,
we're awful. Let's quit.
That was a little. I mean, no, I'm not talking about us. I mean, it was kind of weird because you're like, yeah, hopefully this is supposed to be. It didn't say weeks, months later.
No, it didn't. Well, and that the girl's full of shit because the witches put her there, so they made her look like she was beat up.
But as far as just Paul,
but for himself, Waldemar Daninsky knows. Yeah,
he's scum. He deserved what he got.
And I think it's really strange too how they turn him into a werewolf. With the skull, it's like a wolf
skull. Complex.
Yeah, and then she
that was interesting.
has to cut herself, and then the girl bleeds on the skull, and then she has to bite him, and I mean it's with the skull. And
that was kind of cool though, because it was different.
Yeah, it wasn't just
like Eric was saying, all of them are the same.
Yeah,
that was different.
It was different. I will admit that. It even said so on the Wikipedia page that I read.
What's that? What is it?
That it was one of the most original werewolf origins in apparently the 39-50 movies that he made.
He was getting bored. He's like, what can I do now?
This was the 7th movie in the series, according to the Wikipedia page.
Are there really that many? 39?
I don't know how many.
There's not 39
of them. No. Jeez.
But
there's a lot of them.
Okay, let me say this, because I did read the Wikipedia page while the movie was going, to keep my interest up. And,
man,
it said this was the 7th. But then, it also said this movie took place in 1972. Mm-hmm. And then it also said that the end of the movie had Countess Bathory revived to battle the werewolf in a big climax scene.
That's not right. That's Werewolf Shadow. That's the ending of Werewolf Shadow, or Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman.
Okay.
That's what and what they were describing there, that's that movie, because that's the whole plot of that movie.
Is that another Nachi movie?
Yeah, it's another Paul Nachi movie.
I cannot believe that anyone would just put wrong information on Wikipedia
It's got to be a first.
It's got to be a first. Yeah. I mean, I'm upset now.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say, though, for the witches putting the curse on him, there is no real payout between Waldemar Daninsky and the witches. The witches curse him, and then they just kind of disappear.
Well, he also doesn't really know that they're there either.
Of course. But, like, even as a viewer, like, once they bite, that's it. Like, you never they don't even reference the witches again, besides, like, oh, he's been cursed. That's about it.
Isn't that kind of common in, like, in that kind of, like, gypsy curse kind of story, though? The gypsy curses somebody, and they just kind of slip away.
Even in the Lon Chaney, they pretty much kind of go away after he becomes...
Besides, I forget what her name is.
Yeah,
she stays and tries to help him.
Because then it just becomes his story. Like,
right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
It would have been nice to have some sort of... where he figures it out, or something, and like, some sort of payout with it.
Or just like a scene where they're like hanging out drinking. They're like, remember that time we fucked that guy up?
Remember when we cursed a guy to be a werewolf?
That was awesome.
Oh, man.
I think they could have used the policeman for that. The policeman could have figured out that the witches had cursed him, but they just ended up just bashing his head with a rock. But...
But I do love also the fact that his his stagecoach driver is helping to find the killer. And then everyone's like, all of a sudden, they're like, there's a werewolf! And it has to be Walter Daninsky. And then they just murder the guy for no reason.
Well, they think that he knew all along or something.
Yeah,
but he said that, yeah.
But it's great because they're, like, upset because somebody is murdering people. Right. And then they're just like, we don't really have evidence, but we're just going to kill you anyway.
Well, that's a good comment on just, like, the, crowd, like, the mob mentality, yeah. Like, they get caught up and they do the same thing that they're
and they killed the maid, too.
Yeah.
With a pitchfork. In the side.
Off screen.
Yeah.
What terrible people those villagers are.
Horrible human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of gypsies, by the way,
here we go.
I was doing research on Woodland Cemetery, and that the king and queen of the gypsies are buried there.
Yep.
And I'm like, that is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently way back, Dayton was a mecca for gypsies.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I took a tour of Woodland and they talked about that.
Yeah, I was mesmerized by that. I was like, wow, we were the mecca of gypsies.
Yeah.
Did they show you where the graves were?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the research I was doing too, they showed you and broke down like where they were at, like if you wanted to go there. And they actually own like a crypt too. Like one of them's like a crypt. I'm like, wow, they must have had some cashola or something.
Yeah.
King and Queen of the Gypsies.
King and Queen of the Gypsies.
Yeah, they didn't jip out when they got their gravestones.
Whoa, that's racist.
That is racially insensitive.
To gypsies?
To gypsies, yes.
Are there still gypsies?
That is why
There's
that
gypsies.
is where the phrase...
Well, no, I know.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if... there's no...
Oh, yeah, there's still gypsies.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Gosh, I'm sorry, gypsies.
That is the only time we have ever apologized to any sort of ethnic group on the show.
And it's the gypsies.
They didn't, because they didn't
I didn't
deserve
know. I didn't know. Like, okay, that brings up a good moral question. If an entire race of people dies out, I mean, you might want to give it a couple years, but then could you make racist jokes about those people because no one's around to be offended by it?
Whew. That's a good question.
Sure.
Give it a couple years.
Eric's going with sure.
Yeah.
But the gypsies aren't close to dying out.
I thought they were gone.
They're not gone.
No, yeah, they're not a myth.
Well, I figured if the king and the queen are dead and buried. Yeah.
But there was the prince and princess of the gypsies.
It's
like
Now
all
they're
right.
the Queen.
Alright. Jeez, I'm sorry.
Jeez, Jason.
Oh, man.
There's even reality shows about gypsies now. For God's sakes.
TV.
What?
Neither do I, but I even know about that.
Are you kidding? We just did a 4-hour show earlier today about one TV show. You watch TV.
I watched one episode of that on TV.
What show?
Breaking Bad.
No.
Breaking Bad.
Never seen it.
No.
It kind of sucked. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not good.
No.
The first season, the first 2 seasons were good. Then I didn't watch it after that. So
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I heard.
Curse of the Devil.
I heard it badly.
Oh, I thought we were
Curse
talking
of
about
the
Breaking Bad again.
No, we didn't have it. We did that.
I'm exhausted on that.
So back to the Curse of the Devil.
Curse of the Devil, Paul Nashi.
Paul Nashi.
So, Eric,
Yeah.
why would you never watch a Paul Nashi movie again?
Just based on the quality of this one, because it was kind of boring, and I didn't find it good or bad enough to be intrigued by any of it. I mean, if it was, it was way too slow with not a lot happening, and it wasn't atmosphere. It was because they were filming for time, and it was 84 minutes and felt like 2.5 hours.
I wouldn't say that.
It felt like it to me. And at the same time, like, there were scenes where it was laughable and, just crazy, bad stuff happened, where it was just so bad that it was good, but it was so few and far between to make me,
It wasn't consistently...
By my count, there were 20 death scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
Did you count? Really?
Yeah, I just counted it up in my head right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There were 20 people died in that movie, and he's saying it was boring.
Uh-huh.
You just don't understand.
And they all died in different ways.
Yeah, they all know.
Except for the ones that got hung in the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, they got kicked off the side and hung.
Well, and the one got burned.
One got burned, but what?
Yeah,
one got his head smashed with a rock. One pitchforked. One got side with one of those sides.
Yeah. You tell me another movie where you see that much action.
Lady got her throat ripped out. Man got his face ripped off. There was a ton of death scenes in this movie.
It's not about the quantity.
Yeah.
It's about the quality.
Well, there
rock,
I want to bring
face.
Well, then I want to bring this up because I think the quality of one death scene was my least favorite part of the movie. Mm-hmm. I thought, spoiler, when the werewolf gets killed, that it was very anticlimactic.
Oh, yeah.
She just kind of walked up and stabbed him. And
but I mean, if you go to and it's one of my favorite movies, like the Wolfman. The Wolfman's death in Universal's The Wolfman is not action-packed either.
But that should be, learning from the past. They should be like, that wasn't that great.
But Nachi's movies is all a love and homage to...
it makes sense.
The, Universal...
It does make sense, though. If you think about it. If you just think about it. Just think about it for a second, all right? They were in love. The two were in love, right?
Right.
And the man is still inside the wolf.
Right.
So when she was walking towards him, you could see in his eyes that the man was trying to fight
I agree.
the beast inside.
I agree with that.
And with the struggle going on, she had a chance to get in there and kill him.
But there should have been
an actual external struggle.
Yeah.
As she...
There was. You could see it in his eyes. It was all in his eyes.
Yeah. But there should have been one moment.
Character, actor, right there.
I saw it. Just because you guys missed that.
I think there should have been more of a moment. Like where she's like approaching him and like just like you're not sure if she's going to do it or something like that.
She hesitates.
She didn't hesitate at all.
Right.
She was just like, you're dead.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Well, she knew she had to take him
I know,
out.
but she should have been crying.
First and foremost,
she
was
crying.
she was super
stone-faced.
Well, she was just like, oh, I have to kill him. Okay.
Well, I would be.
Okay.
The man just killed her
Let
dad.
me get my anvil
killed
out.
her mom.
That's what I was
killed her sister.
Okay. That is another thing about this movie that I disliked. It is like he goes out and he does his random wolf attacks. But then he is also systematically picking off this family.
That's true.
For like almost
There's not a lot of
reason.
people in this. There's not a lot of people in this town.
But there were 20 deaths, Stephen.
Yeah.
20 deaths.
I know he had already killed everybody else. Who else was left?
But if you think about it, they'll break it down. The sister, he turned into a werewolf and he didn't know when they were having sex, and he kills her. He then, when he turns into the one werewolf, he's walking his girlfriend home, who's the dad, and he's already turning, and he starts chasing her because they show her even going in and him coming toward the door, and then he stops.
So he's already there.
He's already there, and then he kills the dad.
Oh.
The only one he went out of his way for was the mom, which made no sense. It was like he beelined to that house, like, I'm gonna fucking kill the mom now, And
he made that Matrix move
well, maybe
up the
he was there
staircase.
looking. I think he was there. He was there looking for her, the girl, right?
Yeah,
that's why he was there, and then the mom just happened to be there. So.
I will agree. Jason just said the best because when he kills the mom, he does this like leap off the staircase.
It's like dead silent too. It's like he's like
he flies at her.
Yeah, oh yeah,
he just does a Superman flight leap at her
off this balcony.
It's pretty awesome.
I mean, it's like a full-on swan dive.
Yeah, and it's dead silent. Like he's not clunky about it.
He's not growling or anything.
Yeah. It's just...
And you notice he's going head first and he lands on his feet.
Yeah.
Well, he righted himself.
Yeah, he's a werewolf.
Werewolves and cats always right under.
Yeah, that jump is probably one of my favorite moments.
You mentioned her family, though. We were talking about, like, at the very end where she stabs him. That would have been cool, too, if, like, she wasn't sure for a second, and there's, like, a quick flash where she sees some of her family, and then she just, like, fuck it, and stabs him or something.
Although, did you like when she stabs the werewolf? He's like, no!
Yeah.
Yeah, because
again,
like, he doesn't make any noise throughout
that was the man.
the rest of the movie up until right at that point.
It was the man inside.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was.
Oh, that's exactly what it was supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, finally being set free, but it's just funny because like it's that dead silent moment. You can kind of hear dogs in the background because the search party's there, and then she just stabs him, and it's almost like that ridiculous moment at the end of Star Wars Episode 3 where you wait and Darth Vader's first words are, no! It's kind of like that.
Well, it wasn't his first words. His first words were, "Where's Padme?"
He hasn't watched that.
And then what's he say?
And then he says, "No."
I haven't seen that yet.
You don't even know what we're talking about then.
You're not gonna see it. You're not gonna watch it
No,
because you
not.
hate things. You hate movies.
I don't hate movies.
You obviously do because if
you
you
hate-
didn't like this movie, then there's something wrong with you.
You hate movies if you don't like Paul Naschy.
Is it?
You have no idea what film is.
I just watched a film today called Torture Garden, and it was fantastic.
Over Paul Naschy.
Somehow I doubt that. I bet it was.
Okay, it wasn't
crap.
fantastic. It was okay.
Over Paul Naschy, no way.
Well, here's a question. You were saying...
Torture Garden. Burgess Meredith was in it, for Christ's sakes.
The penguin.
Curse of the devil. Curse.
No, all you have to
The
say...
penguin.
All you have to say in the response is...
Rocky's coach.
Paul Naschy.
So did Paul Naschy ever do anything other than werewolf?
Oh, yeah.
horror?
Paul Naschy's played... Oh, my God. He's played The Mommy. He's played Frankenstein,
But it's all
Monster.
horror. It's all horror then, right?
The majority of it. I mean, he's done some non-horror stuff, but the majority of the stuff he does is horror.
Did he ever do anything in America?
Besides Tomb of the Werewolf, as far as I know, no. Tomb of the Werewolf, I think, was the only thing that he did over here. And then he, like I was telling you before, Eric, when we were talking about Paul Naschy, he teamed up with a Japanese studio for The Beast and the Magic Sword, which is like a mixture of a kung fu samurai movie and the werewolf stuff.
Why weren't we watching that?
So
I probably would have done that.
it's pretty interesting.
The American one, too, the werewolf. You said that's the one that I probably saw.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
With the slave girl live-in housemaid type thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's one which is
Was
really...
it Lovin' Man?
Oh yeah, she was living
Loving real good.
There's a real interesting fact, too, because there's a movie that Paul Naschy says that he made, but there's no record. It was supposed to be another Waldemar Daninsky movie that he supposedly made with a French director, but there's no record of this movie ever existing.
Weird.
And, like, the guy who was the director who supposedly made it died in a car crash, even.
Whoa.
So then the rumor was that the guy could just never paid for the film print. So the film print is sitting, like, in a, French lab, basically. So I just think that's interesting because, but when Naschy talks about it, the plot is similar to another movie that he made. So people think that the older he got, he was mixing up the two movies and said, oh no, I made this movie and that movie never existed.
Huh.
So it's like a little legend there for Halloween.
Ooh,
A legend for Halloween.
Or it would be great as if it's actually true and somebody one day finds it, because that
Right.
would be neat to see.
Oh, yeah.
And it was earlier, so it wasn't like one of the later in the series. It was earlier in the series, so it would just be neat to see what a French director did and what their take on the whole thing was.
So, his character's name in all these movies is Waldemar Daninsky. He is a Spaniard. Those films were shot in Spain and released in Spain. Why is his character's name Waldemar Daninsky? That is not a Spanish name.
Sounds kind of Russian.
Or like, something like
Polish or something.
Yeah, Eastern European almost.
Yeah.
But I don't think all of them take place in Spain.
Or Western Europe.
Are supposed to take place in
Supposed to
Spain.
Russia.
You know.
Why?
Well, again, I think his big thing is why the character's name always stays the same. It's the way that he almost described it at one point too was that each movie was basically like a reboot. So each movie had the same character, but they were all different, like parallel, and I mean, none of it really connects. Like, none of those movies fully connect. If you watch them, none of it connects. I mean, there's movies where his origin story is completely different.
So why keep the same name?
I think it was just something that he enjoyed doing. Like, I think he enjoyed taking that Waldemar Daninsky character and just
kind of wanted to make it a franchise.
Almost like a what if. Well, what if he was in this situation? What if he's in Japan and Beast and Magical Sword? What if he fought Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll and the werewolf? I mean, he just threw in like whatever he could. Like, well, what if this happened? Well, I'm just gonna throw the character in this.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they do with like Dracula and stuff. It's like, what if he was here in this time period? And
and I think
it's kind of the same thing, really.
I think he just took it and did the same thing. I mean, and I think that's a big thing in a lot of European horror films. Because look at the Tombs of the Blind Dead movies, which is like a series of movies that I really like. There's like Tombs of the Blind Dead and then Return of the Blind Dead and all that. But all those movies are completely different. Their origin stories, and both of them are completely different of how they became the Blind Dead. And then by one of them, they have them now all of a sudden they're on a ghost galleon and sailing in the sea. And then they're, I think that's just their style too over there. I think it's just like, okay, well, it's a series, but they're not connected. Just by namesake. That's it. Right. They're connected by namesake. Oh, okay. So I think that's just a style for them.
So he's like trying to build that character into a legend.
Yes.
Like Dracula or something.
Yes.
Right, yeah, okay.
And then, there's tons of them. Like, there's that movie Amphipophagus, which is also called The Grim Reaper over here. There's a sequel to that, but it has no connection besides, like, the name and the actor, but there's no connection. I mean, like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I think it's just something they did. I think it's
just like a foreign thing.
And I think they're like, well, we like that character, but let's just do a different story with it.
Huh.
Thought I had another.
Well, I have a question.
Do you think his girlfriend's hair was real in this movie?
No, probably not.
It was beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous hair.
It was like out of a painting.
Yeah, it was the whole movie.
Yeah,
He never moved.
So I guess the one question too is, if you were Waldemar Daninsky and you had both the sisters throwing themselves at you, who would you have picked?
I would go his route and take both.
Yeah. Yes.
Good answer.
He didn't pick.
Well, he kind of did.
He had both.
He kind of did.
No, he took both.
He took both. If you would have killed the one,
accidentally killed one. Yeah.
Well, it's because he didn't love her. He stopped himself from killing the other one.
He protested for all of 40 seconds.
I wouldn't even say 40 seconds. Yeah.
He walked into the other room and sat on the bed. He's like, okay, if she follows me in here, I'm going to do it.
It's meant to be.
Oh, she's naked. Well, I'm doing it.
I have taken that route many times with women. And I'm just sitting in my room alone for hours, and I finally come back out, and they're just gone.
That's because you turned into a werewolf and killed him, and you don't remember.
Oh, yeah. And I had my maid cover up.
So, Eric, how you were saying that it was slow moving. How do you feel about like the Hammer films that we were talking about? Because I think they're kind of similar in their pacing and everything. Do you enjoy the Hammer stuff?
I do. There is more happening in those slower scenes. Like I said, this one mostly felt like filler. Like, did I really need to see the girl grab the barrel of hay and then take the barrel of hay to the other barn and then pet and individually feed every individual cow in the barn and then slowly walk out of the barn?
Like it was padded.
Right, yeah. It is just...
I mean, have you seen a horror movie?
Yeah.
They're all like that. They all do that.
No, they aren't.
The good ones.
The best of the best, sir.
That's called building suspense.
No, it is when done right.
And that was done right.
It is not done right.
Then he jumps off the top of the barn and kills her.
Yeah.
Done. That's horror.
No.
That is horror.
Although, I love the Hammer movies and I love the Paul Naschy movies, but I've never seen anybody dive off of a staircase like that in a Hammer film.
Right. That was amazing.
Swan diving, just like setting it up and everything.
He just didn't care. I mean, he went for it.
That was some
He wanted to kill that blind old lady.
You think
hard?
You think Wu Ping was on set? Did he help get that done? Yeah.
No, I think Nachi just said, you know what? They said, okay, now it's the scene. You're going to have to kill this old lady. He's like, I'm jumping over that motherfucking staircase.
I'm going to do with style.
Yep. They're like, Paul, that's dangerous. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. It's going to look good.
I'm going face first.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Because, yeah, I mean, I can see the Hammer, but I think some Hammer movies pacing are slower than what that pacing is. And I think some of the Hammer stuff also has a lot of filler. Especially a lot of the later Dracula stuff that they did with Christopher Lee. Some of that stuff, after a while, you're like, oh my god, this is just... They're just cramming this in just to make this movie longer. And see, with the Nachi stuff, I don't think that was their intention. Like, I think that it may come off that way. I think he looked at everything as an art. Like, he thought that showing that girl feeding the cows was artistic, and it was showing you this everyday life girl, and this is what she does. And look at this horrific death.
There are so many ways he could have shot that.
Of course.
The way that it was, framed, the way it was paced out, edited.
And that's
that
different.
would have made it so much better, but be exactly the same.
Yeah.
And they just went the wrong route with it.
Yeah, and again, though, I don't think his intention was to pace. I mean, a lot of it is probably also just, not getting the certain, setup shots. Because I think some of it's really good. Like, there's that scene with all the villagers, and I don't know if they were cutting out the eyeballs of his victims.
I think so, yeah.
And there was the scene where it had the guy, and he was saying some sort of prayer, and they had the fire in front of the camera, and then, it was like a shot of the night sky behind him, and, that was great. It's like, wow, that looks great, for a whole,
There are good aspects to this movie, I'm not going to deny that. But there's just so much of it that is just kind of amateurish, and just not well thought out. That could have been done so much better, and it just wasn't. And the scene about the milkmaid or whatever the fuck she was, that to me stood out as just unnecessary. Just the way that it was done, the way it was presented. Because I do enjoy a slow-paced movie occasionally, and
somehow
if they are done well, because it is about building suspension, it is about building tension and getting you to that moment.
Yeah.
And this movie did not have that.
I think there's levels of how you build suspense in a movie, and there's you can get to it real fast and quick and violent, or you can get to it nice and slow.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to know. You get to know that one individual person.
Writing and directing and acting.
And that's I like. That's why I like. That's why I like.
That's fine. And that is the way it was
differing in
presented in this
opinions.
movie. Yeah. So stop arguing with me.
I'm not gonna stop arguing with you. It's a great film. Fine film. Everybody should go see it.
See, that's one of the things that I think I like about European and even English horror films is the pacings of them. Because a lot of them are slow, especially from the 70s and 60s. Again, I'll reference that movie, Anthropophagus. Most people hate it. They think it's boring, but the pacing of it on that movie builds to the point where you get the payout, and I'm not going to ruin the payout because I would love for your listener, one person, the Brian Johnson, to track this movie down and watch it. But, the slow pace to get to that moment at the end, and when that moment at the end happens, by the time it happens, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? What a fucked up moment. Slow pace, stuff starts happening, and it's, kind of stays same level, and then all of a sudden you get the payout at the end, and you're like, okay, that was awesome, And I think that's one of the reasons why I like Nachi films so much. I do like the pacing, where again I can see both sides. I can see where Steve's saying, why he likes it and why you don't like it. I think that's why I do like it. I like that slower pace, and you start to, and some of the stuff with Voldemort is just hysterical. I mean, the fact that he he fucks any woman that walks into a room is absolutely hysterical.
Well,
There's a lot of sex in his movies.
Oh yeah, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's not like he ever builds up any kind of relationship with these women.
Right.
It's like they see him once and they're madly in love with him just by him walking in the room.
He does have a pretty good chest.
Well, you know,
he always showed it off. So.
He is a hairy-chested Hispanic man, and as a hairy-chested Hispanic man, I know the pain he's going through.
Just naked women come in your house.
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, it's just, why do I have to deal with all this? You know, I have to have sex for the 5th time today with a completely different woman. Oh, I'm tired.
And doesn't that make you have a bond with Waldemar Daninsky now?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Maybe you are the Waldemar Davinsky of this time period.
He's the Waldemar Daninsky of Kettering, Ohio.
maybe nobody let me go hunting, so I don't accidentally kill a gypsy.
Do you have a little sex house in the woods?
I do.
Yeah.
It's the little shed out there.
That's nice.
That's where he takes the women.
Oh, jeez.
So much more creepier, though.
Well, I used to play there as a kid. Now I play there as an adult.
Oh, man.
So, Jason, has your love now for Paul Naschy movies grown?
It's been stirred up. Yeah.
Stirred up.
Yeah.
Stirring the pot.
It's like I can smell his beautiful hair again. Now I want to hold his hand.
And it sounds like it's made a fan out of Steve, the Paul Naschy.
I like the other one that we watched in your horror movie marathon. I don't remember the name.
What was it? Curse
Night of the Werewolf.
Night of the Werewolf.
No, I like that one too.
This one was Curse of the Devil.
I like the way he
Curse of
sets
the-
things up. I like his shots and angles and stuff.
Yeah. And I think some of
Differing
it's...
from Eric, he doesn't like that style, but I like it a lot.
And I think it's...
I like that style. I just would like it to be done well.
Right.
Well, and it's one of those things where Naschy movies, too, a lot of them are different. I mean, there's different levels of... There's the more professional shot ones. There's the ones that you can tell were quickies, where they were literally like, let's get this in the drive-ins in America as fast as we can. You know what I mean?
Right.
They do that with horror films today. Though.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And you could tell probably a lot of it probably had to do with whoever was producing the movie, too. Like, if they wanted it where Naschy wanted his stuff to be artistic and well thought out, whatever producer probably was like, I don't give a fuck about your artistic stuff.
Yeah,
Make me a horror film and get it out there so I can make money.
Boobs and blood.
Exactly. And you can tell the difference between what ones, I think, where he was heavily involved, where he kind of called the shots and were like, nope, this is what we're making, compared to ones that I think he just had some say, but I think Money Men had more of a say on what he did.
Is this the longest you've ever talked about any of your movies?
No.
Talked about longer? Okay.
We're keeping Naschy alive.
I'm
that's all I'm saying.
trying to. I'm trying to. I think Eric wants to move on, though.
No, I'm fine.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I just, I don't know how much more I have to say.
Well,
I mean, it's just, like I found myself more often than not bored and just kind of just, not enjoying myself at all. Yeah.
would you say you hated it, or it's just
It's not just but I didn't hate it either.
Gotcha.
I just didn't like it.
You disliked it.
I disliked it. Yep.
Didn't
Well,
hate it.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but I've also would never also call this the best movie I've ever seen. It's
Let's put
it's
it
not
on the
even
scale.
mediocre.
Let's put it on the
It's
scale.
below mediocre.
Let's put it on the scale, 1 to 10.
1 to 10, I'd give it a 3 or 4.
That's not too bad. That's not, I mean, that's not like you said, it's not hating it. It's
Right,
not
right.
like, oh, that fucking worst thing I've ever seen,
Can we go around and do the scale? Can we-
Yes, we can. It's
Jason,
not something we usually do.
Yeah.
Jason, 1 to 10.
1 to 10, I'd probably go... I'd go 6.
6. Well, above average.
Yeah.
I'd go 8.
I'd go 7.
Oh.
It's not one of my favorite Naschy movies, but it's not one of my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I haven't seen a lot of Naschy movies, so there might be some that I like a lot better than that one. But I absolutely enjoyed it.
Well, keep it on topic of werewolf. What is everyone's favorite werewolf movie? Like,
I believe I already said mine.
Oh, Torture Garden or whatever?
Teen Wolf. He said.
Teen Wolf!
So, I mean, honestly, is that your honest
No,
favorite?
my honest favorite is American Werewolf in London.
That's respectable.
I love the werewolf transformation in that, and I always think that end scene, even as a kid, that always sticks in my mind is when he's the full-fledged werewolf.
Oh my god, yeah.
And he's walking down the street, and he's making that weird-ass freaking noise, and people are running and stuff.
That werewolf is the scariest werewolf out of any horror film, or any werewolf horror film ever.
Well, and it's just a great effects movie. Like, that whole movie with his friend decaying before his eyes, and I mean, all that stuff, and his
dream sequence with the Nazis.
Yep, I mean, all that stuff is great, and I mean, that just shows you that the practical effects of Rick Baker is better than any CGI effects that they can do.
Absolutely.
Have you ever seen American Werewolf in Paris?
Oh yeah, of course.
It's fucking trash.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Again, they could have made They could have made a solid werewolf movie out of that. It should have never been considered a sequel, and they should have never put like the name to make it a sequel. If they would have used practical effects in that movie,
They had a good story.
it would have been all right. Like, you would have watched it and been like, "Oh, that wasn't terrible. It wasn't great." But the moment that those PlayStation 1 graphic werewolves show up, you're like, "What in the world?" Like, even for the standards of that time, it looked like shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, it had a good plot. The plot was good. It worked. It just the
special effects automatically took the fun right out of that movie.
Yeah.
Like, by the time the werewolves come, you were like, the first shot of it, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? You know what I mean? Like, this thing, and they're hairless almost. They look, I mean, it's like, what is this?
It's bad. It's bad.
What about yours, Jason?
Mine's actually is probably a sequel instead of an original. It's Werewolf Highway Part 2.
God.
Hey, I have to give you a clap.
It probably is my favorite. I've seen it more. Like, if I added up every werewolf movie I've ever seen other than that one, I've seen Werewolf Highway Part 2 more than those other ones all combined.
What's your favorite not made by anyone in this room?
That's a tough one.
No, say, what's your favorite actual werewolf movie?
That's a tough one. I don't know. I don't have a definitive. Like, when I was a kid, I loved werewolves. Like, I had a book from the library, the one you own, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to get it all the time, and I used to watch Teen Wolf, and I used to watch the TV show Werewolf, but I never had, like, one werewolf thing that I loved the most. So I don't know, man.
Yours is just in general.
I just like
you
werewolves.
Just werewolf stuff. Because you're like me. Because growing up, that was my thing, too, was werewolves.
I had the action figure. I mean, like, I fucking loved the werewolves when I was a kid.
It was like Werewolf and Frankenstein's monster. But, like, I loved werewolves more. Like, you know, watched all that stuff. But the Frankenstein stuff always was there, too.
Right.
Well, Steven?
It's toss up between American Werewolf and
Curse of the Devil.
Curse of the Devil, American Werewolf in London, and The Howling.
I've never seen The Howling.
The Howling's great.
I've also never seen that.
The Howling.
Oh, really?
The werewolves in The Howling are absolutely horrifying too. Not as they're almost on par with the one in American Werewolf in London.
They're very well done.
They're very well done.
That's one that next year, if you have us back on for the Halloween thing, that's what we should watch. If you guys have never seen that would be great.
The Howling. That is a great film. But and you know, Wolf Hunter. So I got a 4-way throw up there. I got Curse of the Devil, American Werewolf in London.
If you mention Matt Hoffman's name again, I will throw up.
I didn't mention his name. I said Wolf Hunter.
You said Wolf Hunter. That's the same.
It's the same thing.
Directed by Matt Hoffman. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely between American Werewolf in London and Howling for me, for sure. I also like the Underworld movies, but I don't know if
those are fun. I mean,
I've never seen them.
They're more actiony, but I mean, they got horror elements. I mean, with vampires and werewolves, they're horror.
Yeah. I'm an effect guy. I like effects. And I'm not big on CGI, but when it's done well.
Well, exactly. There's a prime example of CGI werewolves that are done right.
Yeah.
You know, they're not like, oh my god, this is groundbreaking and amazing, but they look believable. So you're like, okay, I can kind of get into that. Yeah. American Werewolf from Paris, not so much.
Well, depends on who you ask.
So Mr. Brass.
So Matt, yeah.
Mine?
What we were going to ask you?
I mean, mine is The Wolfman, 1941, just because I grew up watching it, and it's one of those. I mean, Steven works with me, and he sees when the box sets come in, how many times do I put that stupid-ass movie on? Like, all the time. Like, that's one I watched multiple times. But I would say also The Howling. I'm with him on that. Of course, American Werewolf in London. And then another one of my favorites, it's a Hammer movie, and it's slow-paced, but I've always liked Curse of the Werewolf.
I've never seen that one.
Is that the one with
Oliver Reed? Yeah, I've always liked it.
Oh, yeah, that is a good one.
And then,
it's a good looking werewolf. I've never actually seen the movie, though.
It's very slow-paced. Like, that's the one thing about that. And if you're expecting a full-fledged werewolf movie, you're not going to get it. Because the werewolf's appearances they're few and far. Let me put it that way. But it's just, I don't know, I like the character that Oliver Reed plays, and I like, I felt sorry by the end of it, I'm feeling sorry for the character, and I've always liked it.
That's another thing I think that bothered me about this movie, Curse of the Devil, was that in, like, most werewolf movies, you are supposed to feel really sympathetic towards the main character because he is a victim. That turns into this monster killer.
Yeah.
And I did not, for anything, feel any kind of sympathy for Voldemort Deniski.
Well, I don't think, especially in that movie, he doesn't allow you to really feel sorry for him. I think Lon Chaney was the guy who really, first actual main werewolf, because, the original Werewolf in London was made before The Wolfman. But, Lon Chaney, you actually felt sorry for him.
He's got that face, though.
Well, exactly. But again,
yeah.
Well, and he knew how
he just looks pathetic.
Well, and he knew how to make his face look, sad when he was, supposed to be panicked and when he was supposed to be scared or whatever. So, with the Nachi, he always tries to come off as a badass.
Yeah, he's just suave.
He's just, it's he reminds you of the guy that would be, trying to sell you, a travel package. You know what I mean? But it was you don't want the travel package, but he's so suave that you're like, fine, I'll buy the travel package, That's what he reminds me of. Because it's
that's why you like him. That's why I liked him. I was like, look at this guy.
Yeah, because it'd be
how beautiful he is.
Do you want to go to Greece? And you'd be like, no, I don't want to go to Greece. You don't want to go to Greece. You want to go to Greece, right? And you're like, yeah, I guess I want to go to Greece. That's the kind of guy that he looks like throughout it.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
That's another reason I like
him. Don't you get that vibe from him? I mean, he's very this is this, and the women love me.
Right,
and, you know what I mean?
He doesn't seem like he's ever disturbed or...
Nope, look at all my land that I own. Right, you know what I mean? I have this giant mansion, and I also have my love shack in the woods. You know what I mean? There's nothing really is not going his way, besides the fact that he's a werewolf, and he doesn't even really figure that out until the end. You know what I mean?
Basically,
so it's what is it? He's got multiple women lining up. He's got a giant castle. He's got a maid. He's got a chauffeur.
His love shack.
He's got his love shack.
Yeah, that's why I love him.
He gets rent from people that live in the woods because, it's he has it all.
Amazing.
Voldemort Deniski has it all.
It's true.
And I think that's why you don't feel sorry for him. Because, again,
you still love him.
Oh, yeah, of course. But it's especially in that movie,
sorry for him.
There's other movies that, he does a better job of making you care about the character and not wanting to see him, suffer and all that. But in that one, particularly, you can tell that I don't know, he just doesn't make you feel sorry for him because the fact, I think, that he just doesn't even find out that he's a werewolf until the end. So, most of the time, he's just kind of happy-go-lucky and suave. I mean, literally, that's almost through the whole movie, he's just suave. Right. I mean, that's what he is.
That's what we all are.
Yeah. Eric the most. Mm-hmm. But...
Well, yeah, remember?
He's got the
love shack. He's the Paul Nachi of Kettering.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why Eric's the most. And he's got gutter trash here, so which
He's
makes
the
him.
king of the mountain.
He is the king. He's on top. He's on top.
I'm the podcasting king of Dayton.
You probably are. You have multiple shows going. You are the pod king.
And maybe the Miami Valley.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
We could almost go as far to say as Montgomery County.
Oh, I'd go county. Not the state, probably. I bet Columbus and Toledo, probably.
But do they have multiple podcasts?
I don't know.
Eric has 3 going.
There could be other places that in Ohio that there's somebody with multiple podcasts. I don't know. I don't listen to podcasts.
But
You just make them.
Who would?
But
You've heard the quality of this. This is terrible.
Yeah.
could Eric be the king of media though?
No.
Because he does a blog, he does podcasts, he does art, he does OK Panic.
So does Jason. He does all this as well.
But Jason's not as consistent.
That's true.
No, he is. He's consistent.
He doesn't
he's
have
not-
3 podcasts, though.
That's true.
I do have 2 more podcasts than Jason does.
King of media.
But
There you go, done.
You act in a
but-
show.
But
That's right, he
well,
does.
Jason has also been on that show.
But you're a main character. You have a name. You're a named character.
I'm a named character.
And you're on the website.
I've only appeared 3 times. But from the other 2 podcasts, whenever we've needed a guest, it's Jason Young.
That's right.
So he has been on all 3 of the podcasts.
But they're not.
But they're not his.
I made them my own.
He is the unofficial member of all of those podcasts. He gets mentioned in almost every episode of all of those podcasts. Now, normally, it's because we're making fun of that he's unemployed.
Yes, that's a good topic. That's a good topic.
Often people
like
make fun
that's
of
me.
the things that they're jealous of.
I can't deny it. But he has an art blog that he maybe should update more than he does.
Yeah, Jason.
He's got his eBay accounts, which he is selling most of his possessions.
But wait a minute. eBay doesn't count as king of media?
He has his Etsy store, in
No,
which he is selling his artwork.
those don't count.
He is published twice a month in Telephone Magazine.
He's got you. Yeah, that's a good one. He's got you there.
The print is dead. We heard from Egon Spengler.
That's true. In 1989.
It was before that.
He is on OK Panic. I think Jason is the Dayton king of all media.
It's true. It's true.
I don't
I
know.
think he needs to be buried next to the King of the Gypsies in Woodland Cemetery.
I actually I do have a spot in Woodland Cemetery that's already
It might be
mine.
right next to the King of Gypsies.
It's not,
Aw.
Oh, you're not by the king?
No. I'm in the drawers inside the building. You ever
What about
been-
Johnny Morehouse? Are you by him?
I don't know who that
The
is.
boy and his dog?
Oh no, I'm close to him.
Ah, see?
He's right outside the building. I'm in the building.
Johnny Morehouse.
You
You
can't
and
put dogs in. You can't bury dogs in the building. It's a health hazard code.
Health hazard code. Health hazard code. All right. All right.
That's the saddest gravestone there.
Oh, absolutely.
It is, but I don't know if it's true, but this website showed it, and I don't know if it's still that way. But apparently, some idiot college frat boys cut the head off the dog statue.
Oh, really?
So that
Oh.
supposedly the head's gone on the dog.
Last time I was there, it was still there. But
Maybe
I mean,
they found it.
months ago.
Did they do that recently?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a website. Like I said, I was writing for my blog, and one of the places I'm going to be doing stuff is at Woodland Cemetery. So I did a bunch of research on like the ghosts and legends. And the site that had it, they even showed like the picture of the dog and the head was missing. And
Oh, man.
All right, let's
that.
pack it up. We're going to the Woodland Cemetery. We're going to check it out. Make sure the head's still there.
Yeah, because I even when Julie got home, I was like, some idiots cut the head off the dog statue. I'm like, first and foremost, like, okay, I get it. It's an urban legend and a spooky story, but that's some like 5-year-old kid's grave.
Right.
Like, I don't care like how long ago he died.
Right.
That's how fucking retarded do you have to be to disrespect a 5-year-old kid's grave? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know how retarded. To go to UD. That's how.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I had one of my friends went to UD.
My
for
brother went
engineering.
to
Yeah, but that doesn't mean all of them. But it was probably some idiot drunk
Right.
frat boy.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Probably someone from out of state.
Yeah, who thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever,
You know, that's actually why my dad.
This is why we should close the borders.
Ohio.
the UD borders.
Borders and Dayton.
That's actually why my
Build
dad.
the wall!
my dad
All
bought
for
us
it.
all spots inside the mausoleum because he said he didn't want the UD kids walking over our graves. That's what he said.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
like
don't.
your dad.
Yeah.
I never met him. But I like him.
I don't say I blame him. I mean, because you do see a lot of I mean, I understand it's a beautiful place to walk through and it's so
Right,
peaceful,
right.
but, there's paths and stuff. Don't be just screwing around and sitting on somebody's gravestone and, you know what I mean? Like,
Eating a pickle.
yeah. You know what I
That
mean?
sounds like you did this from experience. You go sit around gravestones eating pickles?
No, woodland.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
That's a sacred ground.
I've only been to Woodland once, and the time that I went, it was just after like an ice storm, and so and it's a hilly kind of cemetery.
Oh
it's
yeah.
hilly.
And my girlfriend and I were just sort of driving around in there, and we're getting out and looking at gravestones and whatever, and just my car kept sliding through the hills, and it was kind of treacherous.
Yeah, that'd be dangerous.
But we did it was melting, but there was still just patches there. We did get out at the dog gravestone, and the dog was warm.
Yeah, that's one of the legends.
That's the legend of it, and
Yeah.
it was.
Cold days,
It
it'll
was-
be warm, yeah.
Weird.
And you can, supposedly another one is if you put your hand over its nose, you're supposed to be able to feel like breath,
Right,
like
yeah.
where it's breathing on you.
That's awesome.
And at night, they say that if you wait around there, you can hear a dog barking like in the cemetery. So it's not like it's
Outside, right?
yeah, you hear it in the cemetery barking. I don't know.
Interesting.
I live by there. Maybe one night I should just go there and just wait.
Yeah. Bring some sausages. Just
It
in
is.
case.
It's that season.
Just to snack
Tis
on.
the season.
Yeah, just not good. Yeah.
I wonder how hard it would be to stay in Woodland though, because I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm
sure
sure
they
they
would
probably.
I'm sure they have a night guard, right?
I'm sure they would have to.
I've been there during the night before, probably during high school years, just
Eating
walking
pickles.
around, eating pickles. No,
Pickles.
me and a couple of my friends just walk around there or whatever. But yeah, I never saw a night shift guard, but I would imagine by now they probably
They would have to, but with all the legends and just the folklore and just
And UD being right next to you.
exactly, and a lot of people, especially around this time of the year, like Steven was saying, people's obsession with the haunted Ohio stuff hits a peak where every Carpenter's Road, everything around here that remotely has a ghost story is just flocked to.
And at nighttime too.
Oh god, yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Alright. Well, people are yelling. People are shaking their heads, trying to stay awake.
Stay awake.
I think.
Didn't he just nap all day and then just
I
get up?
I took
You did.
took a half an hour nap. That's it.
In addition to getting up at 11 when Jack
I
called you.
got up at
And then-
8:45.
He got up at 11. Jack called him at 11.
Right.
He then fell back asleep by 11:30.
You guys.
And then he got up about 5 o'clock.
No.
The
you
life
got
of
up
an
at
unemployed.
noon.
I swear I was probably lazier when I had a job than I am now. I promise.
It's more fun to pretend that all you do is sleep all day,
It
though.
really is. Yeah. But he was here at noon, and I wasn't, but he was.
Yes, see?
And then we did a 4 or 5 hour podcast, and then he went home and he slept until you guys came out.
Yeah.
A 4 and 5. Oh,
It was about 3. It was about 3
It was
hours.
about there, actually.
Jeez. What was you guys talking about?
Breaking Bad.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. We went over this earlier. I lose track of what we're talking
There was
about.
a smoke break in between there, so.
At least one. Probably.
Yeah, definitely one. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there was no lunch break.
No, there was not.
You son of a bitch.
I know. He won't feed me.
I can't afford that.
I believe somebody asked you to go to lunch with them,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
but
He just knew we would talk about Natchy the whole time, so he
Aw.
wanted to save the Natchy talk for this moment.
Well, I think it's a good time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So,
This is the end?
this is
This is the end.
Getting quick Halloween plans?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, let's say what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the second Halloween show we've done so far, so Jason and I have already pretty much discussed all of our plans, which is mostly nothing.
Yeah. I'm going to carve a jack-o'-lantern.
I'm gonna
That's
hide.
classic.
I always do.
I'm gonna hide.
No carving of a jack-o'-lantern?
No, it's dirty.
You don't like to
Dirty and
do.
gross.
You don't like to do Halloween things.
Not really.
He likes to watch the horror movies.
I like to watch horror movies.
You just dress up in a costume in your house and just sit on your couch and like.
If by costume you mean underwear, yes.
Yeah!
That's the Paul Natchy look.
That's the Paul Natchy. Yeah. He has his shirt, he has a button-up shirt, and it's halfway open, and he's like,
He's got a wolf skull. He bites one of his nipples off.
yeah, the women are going to be flocking in any moment.
That's just Tuesday.
Yeah. It's not even October. It's-
Right, yeah. I don't do anything for Halloween, so except watch horror movies and do podcasts about them.
What are you doing, Jason, for Halloween?
Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, that's right. You're gonna do the jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I forgot you said that already.
But what about you guys?
Let's see. I'll be doing Horrorama on October 25th, which is the charity event. We've talked about it every year I've been here.
What are you showing this year?
The Mummy from Hammer, Night of Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day
On
of the
October
Dead.
25th?
On October 25th.
That's bad timing, because on October 24th, Roof Tracks is having their Night of the Living Dead show. And I'm going to that, so I can't watch that movie twice in 2 days.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can, because I did it last week.
Then, other than that, I'll be shooting some Baron Von Porkchop episodes.
Terrifying Tales of the Macabre.
Terrifying Tales of the Macabre.
That's your television program.
Yeah, my
That's
whole
that show we were talking about.
That
you were
show, I'm on it very rarely. But I am on it.
he's a scene stealer when he's on. He's got
Yes.
that Natchy look. You know what I mean?
I don't think you and I have been on a podcast together since this happened, but there was one, I was house sitting for my parents, and I was just flipping through channels. It was like 3 in the morning, something like that. And all of a sudden I'm on TV.
How's that feel? How did you feel? How did you feel when
It
he's
felt
like,
weird.
I'm like, wait, that's me.
And so I'm watching it, and it's an episode of Terrifying Tales of the Macabre, and like I'm not in any of the scenes. I think the movie was the Undertaker and his friends, something like that.
no, that's the
Undertaker and his pals.
Yeah.
The chili cook-off.
Chili cook-off. And so, like, everything is, the Baron and all the other side characters, but in almost every single one of those scenes, I am in the background.
there's a whole scene where I talk to you in that one.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Or the band talks to you, whoever that guy is.
you know that one guy.
It is getting late, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm
secret.
tired. I didn't sleep well last night.
And then the other thing I'm doing is I do my blog, Rotten Ink, and then I'm doing a special Halloween, much like you guys are doing. I'm doing 3 updates this month with the
We're
first
doing 5.
I know.
We win.
You just got to try to outdo me on everything.
Uh-huh.
We don't really have to try.
No, yeah, it's true.
You know, because I kind of feel that Eric sometimes is my arch nemesis.
Right. Oh, he was saying the same thing about you earlier.
It's John
Him
Bond.
Him and Pete Bell.
Wait a minute, I thought Pete Bell's was Joe G's.
Joe G and I share Pete Bell as an arch.
No, you guys share Pete Bell.
It's kind of like how. Never mind.
You're tired too, right?
I'm gonna sleep.
But I'm going to be doing 3 updates. The first one I covered Dell Comics covering Universal. The next one will be Leatherface, the comic adaptation from North Star. And then the last one is I'm doing the Hammer film adaptations, which is cool enough that Mr. Eric Schonborn is writing a special one for me, and Kurt Dentz is doing the art for it.
You can only hope.
Well, as far as we know, he's in the works of making it.
As far as I know, he is slaving away since this past week.
Nice. Nice.
So, in theory, he's making it. But
in theory, this will happen, yes.
And then I'll probably do my normal things that I do. I'm one of those people that do go to, like, the haunted roads and stuff like that during this month. So I'm sure I'll be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I might go to a couple haunted houses. I haven't done that in years. I haven't been on you pay to go in.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of haunted house. Not like this house is haunted. Let's go in.
Right.
Like Nightmare on Valley Street
Yeah.
and the Butcher
Nightmare
House.
That's
and
not
stuff
actually
like
called that anymore. It's called
Haunted
something else.
Hayride.
Yeah, Haunted Hayride. Yeah, they have a zombie one now that you there's mounted paintball guns and you shoot zombies with paintball guns.
Well, that's kind of
That
awesome.
kind of sounds pretty fun. So I may do that.
Can we do that as a group? Like everyone in this room?
That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
I will pass, but thank you.
What? Come on!
Leave this house.
We shoot zombies with paint guns!
Jeez.
We'll try to bring one of them over.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, what if one looked like Pete?
I don't leave the house.
Then I'll actually be spending actual Halloween in Germany. So Stuttgart,
Wow.
Germany.
Really? What's going on there?
The World Beard and Mustache Championships.
On Halloween.
Yeah, yeah.
Do they celebrate
Taking.
Halloween in Germany?
They do, yeah.
Okay.
They're not as big on it as we are here in America, but
That's why they scheduled a beard and mustache competition.
well, it's not. That's not the day it is. It's not on Halloween, but it's actually in November. Or no, yeah, it's in November. But
You're going over.
taking the Gym City Gentlemen of the Gilded Beard there,
Yeah.
trying to bring back some gold from Worlds.
Now, you guys do the beard competition usually here in November.
Yeah, yeah.
You doing that this year again?
We're not doing that this year, no, because next year we're supposed to be doing the national. There's supposed to be like a big national one. We're helping with it.
Right.
All clubs on the East Coast and some from the West Coast are getting together and going to make a big, huge national one. Probably, it's looking like we're going to do it in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, is where they're going to have it. So, and we're just helping.
Are these all charitable events?
Absolutely,
as well? Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, with nothing we do is not for charity. So, it'll be definitely. We haven't picked the charity yet, but because it's still a long ways off. But
I can think of a good charity.
no, not you, Jason. We're not going to give you money, buddy.
Why not?
Sorry.
It's for a
I mean,
good
you have a
cause.
nice beard. Your beard is nice.
But why would you not? He's got a cat and a dog to feed
That's right.
And a doogie.
and a doogie
And no income.
and no income.
Yeah.
That's pretty selfish on the Gym City Gentleman's part.
Yeah. I'm gonna shave my beard tonight. If you don't promise.
Maybe we'll get some splash.
I might even shave yours.
And this man donates artwork every year to your events,
yeah.
and this is how you're going to repay him?
Yeah. He's doing it for a good cause.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
good
had-
cause
I
to help him
had a
feed his
good
dog and a
one.
doogie.
A good cause for himself.
I had a good piece of artwork in mind for you, and I mentioned like months ago. I was like, "Hey, Steven, I got a good piece of art in mind for this year's beard art auction." And you're like, "We're not doing one." I was like, "Oh,
Well, you can save it for next year.
yeah, well, I haven't done it yet." I was
Well, now you
probably-
can just draw it and put it on your Etsy store.
It's true.
And I'll buy it. I'll just buy it from there.
Okay.
That way we can.
All right,
Get
that
that
is
over
for
with.
a good cause.
Yeah.
Mm.
That would be for you. See?
Yeah, okay.
And he gets money.
I'm glad we worked that out.
We got a set plan now. So.
So the one you're going to in Germany, is that also a charitable event as well? Or,
No, the ones there, because they've started it all.
Because
Like,
they're selfish.
they are a little selfish. They're elitist.
Germans.
If you can wrap your head around this, yeah, Germans. If you can wrap your heads around this, they are elitist beard and mustache people. Wrap your head around that for a second. They're very strict on the rules, and it's going to be interesting because we're real loose about our rules and stuff. Like we're not. It's not a
It's
huge.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It should
Yeah,
be
we have
for fun.
women.
I mean,
We have girls. That just do.
I mean, if
make
you're
stuff
a beard
and-
pervert, it should be about fun.
well, I mean,
Absolutely.
exactly. I think no matter what you do, when you make it too strict, you take the fun out of anything. And I mean, beards and mustaches aren't going to change the world,
Well,
but
that's not our goal. Is they will change.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can go ahead and say it.
I'm with Steven on this one because they're raising money. Yeah, they're doing.
well, no, I'm saying as far as
Right.
it's for fun though. They're doing a charity
Right,
event for fun to
Yeah.
raise money to
Right.
save. if Steven's mustache is crooked in one spot, who fucking cares? He's there to have fun.
The Germans care.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm saying like
it's gonna
that's
be fun, though.
that's silly that they're
and it's
that
not.
weird
That's not
about
the
it.
only reason we're going. We're going for Europe.
Right.
I mean, we're
obviously.
going to Scotland first, and then we're flying down to Germany.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah, we're going to be like in Scotland for a week and Germany for a week. So that's the main reason we're going.
Well,
But
sure,
the World
sure.
Beard Mustache Championships is a good excuse. But
Right. So, okay, so what came first, the trip to Europe or the competition?
what do you mean?
Like, did you
Wanted
decide
to-
that you wanted just to go to Europe? and
No,
then
we
you
had
eventually
decided.
found out about the competition? Okay.
Oh no! The competition we had already known that was going to happen.
All right, and
this
so then
year.
you just decided to...
Yeah, and then once our Maurice, one of the co-founders, he was like, after the competition last year, he was like, I can't do another one because they're so strenuous and there's so much stuff that goes on to him, and he basically goes crazy trying to figure them out. He's like, I'm not doing one here this year, so World Beard Mustache Championships are happening.
Yeah.
We need to book
Take a euro.
flights now so we can get them cheap and
Well, yeah, and you guys
basically
got a
book them
great
in.
deal
Yeah.
on tickets, the
Oh,
round
yeah.
trip. I mean, they got
Like
it for a steal.
$185 round trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got it for a fucking... I was telling him, I was like, is it too late for you guys to book me one too?
Yeah, well,
Like,
that was back in February. Though.
Man, I mean,
This
because
is when we booked our flights.
I've mentioned I don't leave my house, but the last time I tried to even think about going somewhere, like I thought about maybe going to New York for a vacation, and it was going to be like $500 for a plane ticket, for a
To
round
New
trip.
York.
To New York,
That's ridiculous.
and you're going to fucking Europe
Yeah.
for $185.
Yeah.
Round trip.
Round trip.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But you should say
Right?
that...
I couldn't say no.
You should say that there was frequent flyer miles involved.
Oh yeah,
in it.
absolutely. Yeah, there was definitely. Yeah, Maurice he had some miles built up, and his mom had miles built up.
All right.
And we're going with 6 people,
Right.
so it all broke up to be
Right.
that cheap.
Right.
So it's not just me and a couple
Maurice.
of people. It's
Right.
actually a group of people. So
Okay.
that's what makes it cheap. But yeah, that's what I'm doing
That
for
should, be,
Halloween.
that should be super fun.
Oh, I hope it's gonna be fun. I hope it doesn't suck. That will suck.
You hope things don't get hairy.
You're a funny guy. You're a funny guy.
Well, yeah.
Anyways,
He's the
That's what I'm
comedy.
he's the comedian.
He's the comedian of the programs.
Yeah, Sean Moore's the straight guy.
John Bush the straight man. He's the comedian.
Yep. That is our chosen roles.
It's Abbott and Costello.
That's too bad. That's too bad.
At the before the very first episode, we got a trash. We flipped a coin. Who gets
Yeah.
to be the comedy relief? And he won.
Were you upset that he won?
I was a little upset, but I've grown into it
He's
now.
moved on.
Yeah. I mean, anytime that I can hear just awesome puns or wordplay, it
He's
just
the master. of it.
cheers me up. I do not get upset whatsoever at any of them.
He's lying.
It sounds like he's lying. That sounded very sarcastic.
All right.
It was excellent being on your show, though.
Thank you
Yeah.
for being on the
Second
show. Thank
time.
you for not leaving in the middle of it.
I was thinking about leaving.
That's
I thought
right, you
about it a
did
couple
during the
times.
number 200. You took off.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you were
did
there like
things to
15
do.
minutes, and you
I had better things to do.
Well, you
We all did.
You missed it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed it when
You
you,
were doing
started
your better thing.
putting down Natchy. He started to stand up, and I had to pull him
Oh,
back
yeah.
down. As soon as you said I didn't like cursing with him, he's like,
Yeah,
fuck.
I was-
and he
yeah.
started getting up.
I
was
saw
getting
him
ready.
stand up multiple times. I mean,
Yeah.
You're getting me going, all right? Getting me going. No, it was a good time.
So what? Before we cut out of here, what's next week's episode about?
I mean, we've already discussed this on our previous episode.
But see, we don't know. So
I don't
You don't
remember. No. I really don't.
the comedy relief is
Yes,
back.
he's laughing. He's laughing.
That's true. I have
Jason
no idea.
does not remember from week to week
Yeah.
anything that we're doing,
Yeah, I don't-
unless he's picked it.
Yeah, if I pick it, I know. But I always show up when we're doing a movie that he picked. I'm like, I have no idea if we're watching a comedy. Like he told me last week what it was, but I have no idea. Never remember.
So are you talking regular show or Halloween special?
Ooh.
Our next Halloween special is going to be Spider Baby. with Joe Grunwald as our guest.
Nice. Yeah, we ran into Joe, and Joe was saying that. I didn't realize it was that was next week's, but he said that he would be joining you guys for Spider Baby. And I told him that it was I think you'll enjoy it.
Was it yesterday when you saw Joe?
I believe it was.
Because I saw Joe yesterday too.
Yep.
Saw him walking in the back.
I never see Joe.
Yep.
And then he walked in.
Well, you'll see Joe next week.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
He's Joe.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Joe.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
What's Spider Baby about? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
It's I know it
This-
has
this lady gives
Lon
him-
Chaney Jr. and Sid Haig in it.
And the lady gives birth to a arachnid boy, little baby boy.
Is that real?
I don't know.
It's actually about the adventures of Peter Parker as a baby.
oh, that'll be great.
Spider Baby.
Spider Baby.
It's Spider Baby.
Does anything a baby can.
Suck
his
his thumb.
Sucks his thumb, poops his bed.
All right, that sounds like a good out here. Thanks, guys, for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We love Halloween.
Happy
We
Halloween.
love gutter
Love
trash.
how- If you
Who doesn't?
want me on again, just let me know. You probably don't, but that's
No,
okay.
probably not.
Yeah.
If you ever want me on to argue with you,
Uh-huh.
because that seems like that's what's going to happen every time.
One of these days, you and I are going to find a movie we both enjoy.
That's not going to happen.
All right.
Yeah, you're either going to hate
See,
it.
they're
or
even arguing about
He
that.
loves Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See?
It's the world's most perfectly written movie.
Oh, wow. Okay. I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, shit. They're going to argue about a movie they both love.
This is great.
Well, we'll talk about that next time I'm on.
All right. All right, guys. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.